Here's a rewritten and rephrased version of the article. Israel expands ground offensive in Rafah, Hamas responds with rocket fire. The Israeli military has intensified its ground operations in Rafah, southern Gaza, escalating the conflict after launching dozens of airstrikes on Tuesday, effectively ending the ceasefire. In response, Hamas fired rockets toward Tel Aviv for the first time since the truce was broken. To control the situation, Israel has designated new evacuation zones along Gaza's perimeter, instructing residents to leave these high-risk areas and move westward. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, have declared these locations as active combat zones. BBC Verify has mapped out the sites of recent Israeli strikes, though independent reporting from inside Gaza remains restricted, with only freelancers managing to send footage. Palestinian families uprooted again as Israel expands its offensive. More Palestinian families are being forced to flee, often with no clear destination. Every day, the humanitarian toll deepens, with children among the casualties. Qasim, a grieving father, carries his 2-year-old son, Omar, who was killed in an Israeli airstrike. He had stepped out briefly to buy sweets for his child, only to return and find him among the victims. His wife, Safar, devastated by the loss, takes one last look at her only child, born after 7 years of trying to conceive. Omar is one of nearly 600 people killed this week, according to Gaza's health ministry. In a cemetery filled with makeshift tombstones crafted from the rubble of destroyed homes, he is laid to rest. The brief hope offered by the now-ended ceasefire has vanished. Schools have once again shut down, forcing children to teach themselves. In a classroom without teachers, 13-year-old Judy leads her friends in lessons, determined to continue learning despite the crisis. "I feel fear and sadness," she says. "There will be bloodshed again. When we had the ceasefire, we felt safe. Now, that's gone." Conflict escalation continues for many in Gaza. Daily survival remains an uphill battle. The Israeli government maintains that its mission is to dismantle Hamas and secure the return of hostages. In Jerusalem, BBC correspondent John Donison reports that until now, Hamas had not launched a military response to the ceasefire's end. However, today, in a clear signal of defiance, they fired 3 rockets toward Tel Aviv, 2 landing in open areas and 1 intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome defense system. Meanwhile, Israel is also sending a message, not only to Hamas and Gaza but to its own citizens, many of whom support continued military action. The Israeli leadership has vowed to press on until Hamas is completely dismantled and all hostages are freed. As negotiations continue behind the scenes, fears grow that the worst may still be ahead. This version keeps the essence of the original report but enhances clarity and readability. Let me know if you'd like any further changes.